The aim of this video is to build on what we know about quadratic expressions and use quadratic equations, and we want to solve quadratic equations through the process of factorisation. So you need to be familiar with factorising quadratics first before watching this video. When we're factorising quadratics, we set the equation equal to 0. So if you're given something, a quadratic that is equal to something else, you need to rearrange it so that the quadratic is equal to 0, just like the one you can see on your screen there. So we have 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals 0. What we need to do before we get started on that is look at a thing called the null factor law, because that's going to be applied in the middle. Null factor law. And null means 0 or none, or refers to that anyway. And it's pretty common sense. If you have two things and they're multiplied together and they equal 0, we know that either the first thing was equal to 0 or the second thing was equal to 0, or both were equal to 0. And that's the only way you're going to get 0. So that's called the null factor law, and we're going to employ that with factorising quadratics. So we see here with the example given, we need to go through the same process of factorising. In this case it's a non-monic. So the only difference at the beginning is that we've got equals 0 hanging on the end there. So let's have a look. So we've got 2x squared. We need to decompose the middle term. We have minus 12 and it equals 0. And we need to find two numbers that multiply together that equal negative 24 and add together to be positive 5, and they have to be the same pair of numbers. So have a think. 8 times 3 is 24, and they are 5 apart. Now it's the positive number is going to be bigger because we get a sum of positive 5. One's going to be negative, one's going to be positive because we get a multiplier of negative 24. So we've got 5 apart would be 8 and 3. So 8 is your positive and 3 is your minus or negative term. And here we go. So we're ready to decompose. We have decomposed. We're ready to start factorising. We have 2x outside of x plus 4, and we have minus 3 outside of x plus 4, and that equals 0. So factorise, we have 2x minus 3, x plus 4, multiplied together equals 0. Remember the null factor law. If two things multiplied together are equal to 0, one of them equals 0 or the other does, or both do. So this is how we apply that. So we go, if 2x minus 3 equals 0, that's the first of the two factors, then 2x equals 3 and x equals 3 over 2. So we have one solution, 3 on 2. And the other factor, if x plus 4 equals 0, x equals negative 4. So we have two solutions there. So x equals, the solutions for x are x equals 3 on 2 and x equals negative 4. At another time we'll have a look at what that means graphically, because that's an algebraic meaning, but it has specific meanings for the value of these equations graphically and otherwise.